5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Born in the Sin podcast, one of the greatest real life podcasts out there right now. I truly mean that from the bottom of my heart. I'm getting better every time. We're getting better. This podcast is going to be amazing. I hope each and every single one of you guys have been enjoying it. Please leave me your feedback. Check me out on all social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff out there. And don't forget to check out that support page also. It will truly mean the world to me. Keep this podcast going. And yeah, let's get right into it. So in this podcast episode, I'm gonna, talk about, a certain topic that maybe many of you could relate out there to. But when life gives you so much experiences, right, in life or trauma, whatever it is, you start building experiences, you start building character, and you just start finding outlets to release all that energy, right? Because it's a lot of emotion, it's a lot of just thoughts, it's a lot of things going on inside, right? Where you start wanting to release all that. You want to start finding an outlet. You want to start finding a way to put that energy in a good place, right? Because that's all energy, that's all fuel, all that. I want everybody to know out there, all that pain, all that suffering, all that trauma, all the hurt, all the sadness, all the happiness, all the cheerfulness, and all the good moments also, not necessarily just the bad moments, but the good and the bad moments. That's all fuel, right? It's fuel for your character, it's fuel for your life, it's fuel for your creativity. Something that I've been mentioning to a family member is just, creating, right? Creating whatever that means to you. It could be writing, it could be art, it could be music, it could be sewing, it could be anything, right? However that relates to you, or however you could connect to that. Create is so, it's huge in this world, right? It's an identity, right? It's art form is identity, right, to people's characters. And in this podcast episode, I'm going to share something of my identity with you guys. And, like I said a little earlier, through all that pain and all the happiness and all the good moments and sad moments, I found an outlet that is my art, that I'm starting to realize that it's my art now, that I have always been writing, right? I found at a younger age to start writing, right? I remember, and I still have these writings saved. These writings were when I was at my lowest, right? Because I didn't know how to express it. I didn't know if anybody wanted to hear it. I didn't know if people would make fun of me. I didn't know if my family, they would laugh at me or whatever it was. So I found the outlet of just writing it down, writing what was in my head, writing what was in my emotions, just start writing. So I got into the habit of writing and a little bit of drawing, and this creativity that started blooming, right? But a little while ago, I wrote something that was huge for me. It was huge for me because the feeling that came behind it was tremendous. It was grand. It was huge, right? Because I never felt something like this. Internally, externally, like I felt very powerful, and it felt like it means so much to me. And I know I haven't really broke down my story to you guys. I haven't really gave you guys my full feedback, or not my full feedback, but the details of my life, right? From a very young age to my current day to day as an adult. I haven't done that yet with you guys, but I will soon. But when I wrote this little quote that I wrote, and this little writing, should I call it, I felt something I never felt before. I have previous use of substance abuse and, alcoholism and things like that. Not to the extreme, but I did latch on these things a lot to kind of heal or cope with what I was feeling at those moments, and it was never great. I always searched for that because I always felt like that was the highest level that I could go of feeling an escape, right? I always felt like alcohol and substances and things like that was the highest level that I could go, and that was like the highest level like my mind chemically could go, right? Because I was always depressed, I was always just down, and I never found that excitement or that happiness, something natural, right? I never, through my whole life, I never found that natural chemical balance in my brain where it was just something joyful that I was just doing, or sports or whatever. I never had that. So when substances came into my life, I found that excitement, right? I found that happy chemical in my brain, but it wasn't good. It wasn't something that is recommended to use constantly, right? So when I wrote this little passage that I wrote, or this quote, that feeling that I got was higher than those substances, than the alcohol, than the partying, than the escape, the night runs or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like it was higher than all that put together, and I never felt that naturally, mentally, physically. I never felt this emotion. And I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you guys, but what I wrote was, I didn't have something greater to live for. And to break that down is, the podcast. I started this podcast, and this was the thing that gave me the excitement. This was the thing that gave me life again, because before this, it was substances, and it was escaping, and it was, all of the above. And now within this podcast, this is my life, right? It sounds kind of corny. I know, I get it. But if you really sit down and think about it, I've been wanting this for so long, and this gives me enjoyment. I put podcasting first, or recording, or whatever it is first, from anything else. This is my what I wake up to. This is it. And I only want to get better at this craft. But when I wrote that, I'm going to repeat it. When I wrote, I didn't have something greater to live for, that's what I meant, or that's what I mean is like, my past was just nothing. It was just living, right? I was just, existing, not living. I was just existing. And, when I launched the podcast, that's when I wrote that quote, and I started living. Something sparked in my soul, spiritually, emotionally. Something sparked in me that I felt alive again. I felt alive. I felt I had a responsibility now. I felt, the courage it took for me to upload that first episode. You guys don't understand the struggle it was for me to record and like the voice that I was listening to. I hated hearing my voice. I didn't like it. The first thing that was popping into my head was, what is the people they're gonna, talk down on it, and it's embarrassing, and, just all the negativity. So when I launched the podcast, it was huge for me. It literally brought me back to life. I was flatlining for a long time, and when I uploaded that first episode, everything broke. Everything broke, all those bad habits, everything just, I just cut ties with all that. And now within this podcast, it gave me life again. And I just wanted to share that with you guys because, I had that, I wrote that thing down, and it was something powerful to me. And I wanted to share that with you guys because, if you guys have an outlet, if you guys have something in life that is just something that you guys feel something so small, it's not, it's huge. Don't downplay or downgrade your potentials and your creativity for nobody. Even if it's your drawing or your sewing, whatever it is, don't ever downplay. It's grand and it's great to you, and it should be great to the world. If it's helping you move forward and if it's something positive, keep up at it. Don't let nobody take that dream away from you. Don't let nobody take that goal away from you. But it's not easy, because it took me 32 years, right? It took me 32 years to finally get to this place. And like I mentioned prior, life, there's ups and downs, right? There's ups and downs and bumps in the road, and we have to be prepared for that. And that's what I'm prepared. My 32 years living, if anything that it taught me, was to prepare for the bad, right? Because nothing's perfect, nothing comes easy. And the way that my life was set up is that we were always expected to hit a bump in the road. We were always expected to, be good, and then down, be good, and down. But that doesn't mean that we can't break that cycle. And we are, and I will. Hey, you guys, real quick, I'll take a little break to introduce this new podcast platform that I have been on and that my podcast, Born in Sin Podcast, is on. Please go check it out. That's GOODPODS for all podcast listeners. I'm loving the app. It's amazing. It's very vibrant. Did I forget to mention that Born in Sin Podcast ranks number 1 in the top 100 addiction monthly chart? Also, number 22 in the top 100 addiction charts of all times. And last but not least, number 55 in the top 100 education weekly chart. Now you gotta go show love to GOODPODS. Let me know what you think. Download the app and get back to me. Link will be down in the link below. Let me know what you guys think, alright? Don't forget to go check out Born in Sin Podcast at GOODPODS. That's GOODPODS. The global community for all podcast listeners. It's an amazing platform. Go show some love. Go follow my account. Comment. It's amazing. Again, that's Born in Sin Podcast at GOODPODS. I'll go ahead and leave the link down below. But yeah, go check them out. Go download the app. And yeah, let me know what you think. All right, let's get back into it. But that message to you is whoever's out there and whoever found an outlet to create or to be creative, don't stop. Keep working on that art. It could be, like I said prior, it could be anything. Don't stop your art. Your art is what identifies and expresses you. And that's the biggest thing in this world that anybody could have, is your art form. Because that's who you are. It could be fashion. It could be, I remember when I was younger, I thought fashion was my thing. I love fashion. I love creating. I love designing, right? Nobody even knew this about me. I could get into deep details down the line, but I loved it. Fashion was something huge for me, but I was so embarrassed of what my family would say. Because back then as a kid, I already had the struggle that I was very feminine and very flamboyant, should I say. Believe it or not, yeah, I was. And I had to change because the people around me didn't like seeing that for whatever reason, but fashion was something huge that I love. So whatever it is that you love, don't stop. Keep growing, even if you get beat up for it, because again, that's just something that happens in life. Don't stop for no one. Take those scars and wear them proud, because they're trying to knock you off your dreams and your goals and your life purpose, and your art form, your expression, your identity. Don't ever let anybody take that from you. So going back to what I was saying about, my creativity, I wrote that and it was just, I felt alive. I never felt that feeling in my whole world, in my whole life. And I hope, and if any of you guys have ever felt that, I know you could relate. And I know that was just the first step. That was the first step. It's like we're about to be 10 episodes in. I'm loving it. Season 1 of Born in Sin Podcast is almost to the end. Believe it or not, 13 episodes. I'm thinking about expanding it, but I'm still trying to figure that out. But yes, whatever your creativity is, whatever your art form is, keep it going. Don't stop. And remember that that's what identifies you. You know, that's what identifies you. That's what makes you who you are. And use your life, use your story to put fuel into that. Whatever that art form is, use your trauma, use your happiness, use the good memories, use the bad memories, use all that fuel, all that fire, all the arguments, all the sadness, all the just everything. Use that as fuel to create that amazing artwork that I know you have and that we all have. You know, and don't forget that. I know that God's gift with everybody is that we're all special in our own ways, right? Everybody has their own talents. Everybody has their own gifts. And, you know, that's one of the things on this life journey that we go on is discovering that gift. You know, not wanting what others have. Being satisfied with what you have, you know? And that's what we're going to keep on doing. But I hope that you guys remember how amazing each and every single one of you guys are. Don't forget, you know, if you guys have siblings or family members or friends who, you know, you see that they have a gift or a talent, or, you know, that they're trying to use an outlet to be creative, push them towards that. You know, guide them, give them options, give them tools. You know, we're all given the tools in life to succeed, but just give them that little nudge, you know, and keep them on that track to keep on creating the art that they deserve to create, their identity. You know, don't push them away from that. Don't ever push anybody away from their personal art form, you know, because we all have an art form, right? And our art form is our life story. It's who we are. It's what made us. You know, and that comes in many different forms. You could tell just with music alone. Look at how impactful music is, right? And look at how much music helps other human beings in this world. Believe it or not, it helps a lot. So my message to each and every single one of you guys today is, we all have a story. We all had a journey. Use all that, the trauma, the pain, the hurt, the happiness, the sadness, the tears, just all of that. Use that as fuel to push your art form out, you know, to create. You know, a lot of us use that fuel to, you know, be aggressive and, you know, fighting and all this stuff and arguing, and which is in some cases is good, you know, but use all that fuel. Don't let it go to waste. It's fuel for a reason. Use it to keep on pushing towards your art form, you know, expressing who you are, expressing your story, expressing your identity, right? Showing who you truly are in this world. Use all that fuel. Take it as fuel. If somebody comes up to you today and says something negative, use it as fuel. That's free fuel for you to keep on pushing you towards your goals, your purpose, and understanding who you are more. You know, don't stop and keep it going. I believe in you. The world believes in you. I know you guys got this, and we're just gonna keep on moving forward. Thank each and every single one of you guys for tuning in to Born in the Sin podcast with Diego. I truly appreciate it. Don't forget, you know, to stop by my social media accounts, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn. Go show some support. Go show some love. Stop by that support page. Check it out. Anything helps to keep this podcast going. I truly appreciate it. Thank each and every single one of you guys. And thank you all for tuning in again to another great episode of Born in the Sin podcast. One of the greatest real life podcasts out there right now. I truly believe that. And yeah, before I go, just remember, if you have an art form, whatever it is, writing, sewing, music, drawing, you know, whatever it is, keep that light lit. Don't stop it. Find fuel to keep that light going, and don't dim it for nobody. Remember, it's your gift, it's your talent, it's your purpose, it's who you are, it's what identifies you. And art is the greatest thing we have in this world. There couldn't be nothing better, because the art is what identifies each and every single one of us. You know, individually, it shows us who we are. You know, we all carry that art form in different ways. You know, it could be fashion, it could be writing, it could be drawing. Whatever that art form is, just keep that light lit. Don't ever dim that light for nobody. You keep it going. And if you have the chance, you know, to help out anybody else, to discover their art, to help them out, to push them, to motivate them to continue their art, do it. You know, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't, you know, you could go out your way to help out somebody else, you know, especially if it's not disturbing or distracting you and continuing your path to discover who you are. You know, we're all here to help out others and to give back in any way that we can. And if you could help out someone to discover their art form, their purpose, who they are, go for it. But we all have the gift, we all have the talent. We just have to find it and find the courage also to express it, you know. But thank you guys all so much. I really do appreciate it. Born in the City podcast, one of the greatest real life podcasts. Don't you forget that. And just remember, if you have any questions, comments, go leave them on the social media platforms. Hit up my website, Born in the City podcast. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. Leave your feedback. I really do appreciate it. Thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. And let's keep this going. Hope you guys have a great day. Hope you guys have a great week. I love each and every single one of you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in to another great episode of Born in Sin podcast, one of the greatest real life podcasts out there right now. Thank you guys. Love each and every single one of you guys. And yeah, let's keep it going. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Born in Sin podcast, one of the greatest real life podcasts out there right now.